All right, let's move on to another one. Let's talk about FTEs. FTEs stand for full-time equivalents. Okay. And they focus on how many people are working in a certain amount of time. This plays a drastic role on wage mix and payroll. An FTE, or full-time equivalent, is equal to a standard full-time job, which is 40 hours a week. The schedule of how many hours worked per week varies. Using this 40-hour per week pay period, we can use a standard number to determine how many people have worked on site. By using this formula, we divide the amount of hours worked in a situation, so number given in hours, and then we're going to divide that by the standard FTE, which is 40. If you divide the two, it's going to be equal to however many FTEs, like 1 FTE. I've seen FTEs on all 4 tests, and you need to know how to do it. Sometimes the formulas are simple, but sometimes they're more complex. Sometimes a question may ask to determine an FTE by month, year, or day. So a normal 40-hour week shift is 8 hours per day. Like 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. They typically work 5 times a week and 5 days a week. And if you took 5 shifts per week times 8, you're gonna get 40 hours. If you're required to find a number of hours per day, you're always going to divide it by 8 hours per day. So let's continue on. If a question asks how many hours per month, you're going to divide the number by standard month. So number given, and you're going to divide that by 173. So this is per week, this is per day, this is per month. So it's based on the average of all months, since some months have 4 weeks and others have less, or more technically. Lastly, if they ask for hours per year, you're going to remember to divide it by 2080. So number given. Think about it this way. There's 52 weeks in a year. 52 weeks times 40 hours per week equals 2080 total. They're very simple numbers to memorize, and based on my experience with the test, I tend to see weeks more frequently, but sometimes you'll see other numbers. Or days too, I see days a lot. So let's look at a simple but complex equation that still tricks me. Say you have 6 FTEs, 2 part-time that work 6.5 hours a day, and 9 part-time that work 3.5 hours a day. How many FTEs? Okay, in a video I made, I discussed how I recommended reading the first sentence and then the last sentence. So the reason I say this is because typically what you need to solve is provided either in the first or last sentence. So The first sentence doesn't provide it, so we read the last one, which says how many total FTEs do you have? So it isn't asking per month, per week, or per year. And if you notice, it says day, so we're gonna go by that 8 hours as the as like our factor. So we will calculate the number of people in that position to the number of hours worked per shift or per day. The sentence says 6 FTEs. So 6 FTEs is going to be 8-hour shifts for each person. So 6 FTEs times 8-hour shifts is going to get you 48 total hours between all 6 of these people combined for just the day. Okay? So next part. There's 2 part-time employees, 2 part-time, and we're told that they work 6.5 hours. So we're going to take 2 part-time times the 6.5 hours, and that's going to get us 13 hours total for those 2 people. Then we're going to go on that last time, that 9 part-time. And the 9 part-time work 3.5 hours. And do the same thing. We're going to take that 9 part-time times 3.5 hours per day. And we're going to get 31.5 hours total for the day. Now the question did not ask month, year, or week. So we're going to use, they didn't ask month or year. So we'd use the standard 40 hours per week formula. So first you'd add up all the numbers. You've got 31.5 plus 13 plus 48. And that's going to get you 92.5. And these are total hours. The last step, we're going to divide it by 40. So we're going to take 92.5 divided by 40. And you're going to get 2.31. So that means that in one day, there is a total of almost 5 employees working on site by the end of the day. And the exact number of FTEs is 2.31. So remember, this is per day and not per week. Let's do another, but let's use paid salary per hour. So you're opening a new department in the hospital, and you're determining how many dietitians to hire. Your monthly budget is $20,100. You determine each dietitian is paid $30 an hour. How many dietitians can you hire? Okay, we go to the first sentence. We don't see there's the answer to what we should find. We go to the last sentence, and it says how many dietitians should we hire? So we know that there's 173 hours in a month, and it says monthly budget. So we know that they're going to look for a monthly budget. We also know each dietitian is going to be paid $30 an hour. We don't know how many hours, though, all the dietitians will work. So how are we going to find it? Well, we're given 2 numbers that match in dollar units. So let's divide the 20,100, or the salary, by the $30 per hour. And that'll give us 670 total hours that can be paid with that $30 an hour. and that's for the whole month. So lastly, we're going to divide these total hours worked for the month, which was 670, by the total hours worked in a standard month, which was at 173 that I was talking about a second ago. So that's going to give us 3.87 FTEs, or almost 4 FTEs if they asked you to round up. Now imagine the same question above wants to hire 3 FTEs after you establishing the department. So the salary is stationary and it's still $30 an hour. They want to hire 3 more. And based on the new information, what will be your yearly budget for new and old dietitians combined? Well, the first sentence doesn't provide an answer, but the last one does. It's asking the yearly budget. So we know that the budget was $20,100. And originally we did not find that yearly budget. And now the yearly budget that we never found will increase. That's what we know so far. Well, we've established in the first year that there's going to be 3.87 FTEs. And we're going to add 3 more FTEs. And we know that there is 2080 hours worked in a year. So if we take 3 times 2080, that's going to give us a salary of $6,240. So that means that adding more FTEs is going to cost us $6,240 per year. Now, the original question, if we were to find, told us that we already have 3.87 FTEs. 3.87 original FTEs hired times 2080 per year, 28 hours in year work. 3.87 times 2080. It's going to be, getting ahead of myself. 8,049.6 per year. Now, if you add this 849.6 to the budget of 6,240, that's going to give us 14,289.6. So in 1 year, we're going to spend our employer dietitians with 14,289 in salary on an hourly rate of $30 per hour. RD's study does a good job at explaining several scenarios. That's free on YouTube, and my RD is a wonderful job of explaining several different scenarios of FTEs, and that's also a good program to look into.